So, und herzlich willkommen zu diesem Stream. Schön, dass ihr einschaltet. Dann spielen wir mal Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain weiter. Spiel fortsetzen.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I've prepared a list of missions for you. Open your iDroid.
British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain. Why'd they kill you? The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's what kept you safe in British military hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto.
Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy?
Cypher went so far as to attack British territory, burning their own ally. That's how badly they wanted you dead.
He said I was in a British military hospital.
You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was...
Ocelot. I hear they started...
The Soviet troops on the ground want to go home. Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers? The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Ich weiß jetzt gar nicht mehr, was wir machen sollten. Handbuch. Ach nee, Online. Steuerung. Ja, ich finde das schon irgendwie. Irgendwas mit brennender Mann und so. Ich komme nicht raus aus diesem Drecksheli. Ich will zu einer Mission, ich will ein bisschen Unruhe stiften. Motherbase. Sicher.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I've prepared a list of missions for you. Open your iDroid.
Ja, iDroid. Besprechen.
You were hospitalized in Dekelia, a British... Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller. You'd formed a private army with him. An army with no allegiance to a nation.
I remember, but...
I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now, but this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men, basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality was, at that time, you didn't have enough gear to equip your own men. Then Miller came across this client. It was a huge job he was offering, but you had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The mother base. That would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 300 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of time before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, they're Cypher's private strike force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for Cypher as bait. While you were gone, XOF, posing as a nuclear inspection team, stormed Mother Base. At the same time, C4 they placed on the strut legs went off. The whole thing went down in minutes. XOF. Kisses and hugs followed by a big FU. All because of Miller's blind spot. A back door into Mother Base no one suspected. You remember a certain scientist. Huey was responsible for bringing the inspection team on board, giving the enemy a perfect opportunity to hit you at home. You were returning from Cuba when it happened. Mother Base came damn close to taking you with it into the Caribbean. Those of your men out on assignment returned right away. They refused to believe the wreckage in the water they found was Mother Base. But they checked the coordinates again and again, until reality finally settled in. You were supposed to die that day. That was XOF's primary objective. As far as most folks know, you did. The first doctor to see you wasn't even sure what he was looking at. Before they'd even finished operating, your men moved you to that hospital in Cyprus. It was a woman named Eva who arranged that. Rings a bell, huh? Most men in your condition would have been written off right from the start. But you survived. You went straight down to hell, and they pulled you out. Your eye wide open. Full of venom. The days of naked Snake are long gone. Welcome back, Venom Snake. This world still needs you. Here, Snake, try this on.
A prosthetic arm.
Yeah, Miller was calling it the arm that wasn't there. The physiotherapy's going well. Your arm's bulked up enough for it to fit. There. Perfect. A little time with it, and it'll work better than the real thing. What do you think?
Huh. I can still feel my real arm.
Well, you better get used to this one quick. You have any pain?
Every now and then.
Where?
My fingertips. My left fingertips.
Sounds like phantom pain. Your brain still remembers your old hand.
Yeah.
What about your vision? Can you see okay?
Yeah, at the moment.
Now, the shrapnel in your skull is pressing on your optic nerve. I'm told any hard impact could have an effect on your visual cortex.
Yeah. The doctor mentioned that.
Your brain might process visual information incorrectly. In other words, you could have hallucinations. You might see things that aren't there, and not see things as they really are. You experienced any of that?
I think so.
When?
Right after I wake up. Colors look faded.
Colors, huh? Well, that's not a major concern in and of itself, but it could mean the difference between life and death in the field. You'll need to watch out for that.
I will.
All right. You should continue your physio. We'll be arriving soon. It's the last chance you'll get.
Okay.
I hear they started calling you Shalashaska in Afghanistan. What's that about?
You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization. The word became associated with a type of forced labor facility in the Soviet Gulag system. OKB scientists and engineers who'd been convicted of crimes were sent to a Sharashka for forced R&D. The Sharashkas were supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name 4th Special Department.
Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here.
Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes in you. Regardless of where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice.
And if it wasn't, they'd leave?
Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the concept that's taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms.
All right. Go on.
Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me Sharashka. This was after the war in Afghanistan broke out. While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the honor of becoming Special Interrogation Advisor to the forced labor camps. But the more men I interrogated, the more people saw me as just that, the interrogator. It helped cover my real objective of keeping you safe.
You went that far for me?
Far enough to keep you alive. I ended up being pretty well known among the Afghan guerrillas.
So SALT II still hasn't gone into effect?
That treaty was drawn up to limit not just the size of the US and Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals, but also...
Wann kann ich denn endlich was machen?
Just when we thought all those years of negotiations had paid off, somebody decides to invade Afghanistan. The timing couldn't have been worse.
The president was in the middle of the SALT II talks back then.
You mean while you were busy trying to stop Peace Walker? I heard. President Ford was meeting with the General Secretary in Vladivostok. In his absence, the political brass in America detected what they didn't realize was false nuclear launch data from Peace Walker. They were on the verge of ordering a retaliatory nuclear strike.
Coleman's big idea? Humans are incapable of destroying themselves. Turns out he never knew what humans are capable of.
If that AI, the boss, hadn't found a way to stop the fake data transmission, they probably would have gone ahead with the launch.
Deterrence was revealed as the pipe dream it was.
All thanks to you. And her. The U.S.-Soviet talks looked set to fall through. What happened in Nicaragua no doubt helped trigger a change of heart. But in the end...
The times define the politics. When you've grabbed their tail, they turn and bite your hand.
I first met you 20 years ago now. The place was Selenouyarsk in the Soviet Union. We were enemies. I was with the GRU. You were still fighting for America. 1964. Operation Snake Eater. Its objective? The assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home successful, they awarded you the title Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization. You knew the original members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O, whereas he was to you, Major Zero. Donald Anderson, a.k.a. Sigint. Dr. Clark, who went by paramedic during the operation. And the fourth, you. From China, there was Eva. And me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union. 6 in total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless. As were East and West, we joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with the problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted.
I still trusted him in those days.
We thought what he was doing was the boss's will, until he started that one project.
Les enfants terribles, Zero called it.
You parted ways, as did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact, although truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the Army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. I'd imagine Zero did too. You always were the best when it came to hide and seek. Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable...
So, ich höre jetzt hier die ganze Zeit irgendwelche Memos ab, oder kann ich jetzt auch mal was machen? Ich sitze hier seit 16 Minuten und höre nur Memos. Ist das nun mal zu Ende?
But even without him, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops Unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean. Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers? The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
So, was mache ich jetzt? Aha! Mission.
Please select a mission.
I've taken the job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call. The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission.
Jetzt.
You'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss.
Nebenwaffen. Betäubungspistole. 3. Willen.
Deploying.
Dann gehen wir mal, wa? Ach, muss ich jetzt hier Waffen sammeln? Ich habe das Spiel noch nie groß gespielt. Einfach Waffen sammeln, oder? Spaß. Der Weg des Heldens. Way of Hero. Episode 3. Wait, I must tap out. Copy. Media. Kann man das ja so machen. Kann man auch mal das jetzt Streams reinschmeißen. So, und Zündung.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago Calais and eliminate the target.
Was kann ich wieder zumachen? So, ich habe eins noch vergessen. Ich habe eins noch vergessen. Hier noch bis zu jetzt mit reinzuhauen. Aber jetzt. Warte, ich muss aber erst mal gucken. Steuerung, Handbuch. 3. Pferd, Fußgänger. Mann, rennt's nicht schnell.
Those are raw diamonds. Collecting them as assets will raise our GMP.
Marker plate. Marker removed.
Also ich suche gerade das Fernglas.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
At the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Warte mal. Metal Gear Solid Fall PC so PC Steuerung. Ahaha. Welche Tasten? MGS5. Fernglas ist F. Ich wollte jetzt bloß das Fernglas wissen. Sollte F sein, laut. Komm, verschwinden und Götter. Scharfschütze, nicht Glas.
It'll be dawn soon. Your surroundings will be easier to see, but that goes for the enemy as well. The guard detail in Soviet outposts changes in the morning too. Watch yourself. bases so we can ID the targets. Sandstorms come in. Sandstorms effectively make you blind and deaf, but that goes for the enemy too. Use the situation to your advantage.
Extraction failed.
Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base.
So.
extract him.
Scheiße. Da kommt einer.
So your suppressor is worn out. That gun will be as loud as any other now. If you have to shoot, be careful.
КП, это злой один! Неизвестные выстрелы! Откуда сказать не могу! Прием! Это КП, понял. Всем подразделениям. У нас могут быть нарушители. Конец связи.
Wechseln zur Alarmstufe.
Please specify a project. Please select a drop point. Please specify a project. Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Development project is being added. Please specify a project. Please select a drop point. Please specify a project. Please supplies requested.
So. Jetzt warte ich ein bisschen.
Supply drop complete.
He's given up their search for you. But they're not giving the all clear just yet. Stay alert.
Ja, deswegen habe ich mir ja die Snipers geordert. Personalverwaltung.
Staff assigned. Select unit.
КП, это свой один. Враг убил одного из наших. Я только что нашел тело. Прием. Это КП, понял. Последующие потери
Please
неприемлемы.
specify
Держите
project.
ухо востро. Конец связи.
We can use compounds from plants to make medicine or poison for use in new weapons and equipment. Take a look at the plants list on your iDroid to see which ones we need. Then go find them if you get the chance. It'll keep the staff happy too.
Extraction arrived at mother base.
Это КП, понял. Занять оборонную позицию и найти снайпера. Конец связи. КП 4. Мы потеряли вражеского снайпера. Остаемся на чеку. Прием. Это КП, понял. Будьте наготове. Конец связи.
Select unit. Staff assigned. Select unit. Staff assigned. Select unit. Staff assigned. Select unit. Staff assigned. Please specify a project.
Target confirmed dead. Impressive work, boss.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Exfiltrated.
All right, you're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete.
Geht doch.
Development project has been added.
Mission complete. Great work.
Starting. Belohnung. Mother Base. Unterstützungshubschrauber entwickelt.
How you feeling, boss? Getting used to being in the field again? Having choppers and a horse at your disposal is indispensable for operating in the wilds of Afghanistan. I've gone ahead and arranged for you to be able to develop and customize weaponry for support choppers. And you can also develop new equipment for D-Horse if you like. Use your iDroid to start development as needed.
Okay. Okay.
Side ops list
The
updated.
side ops list is comprised of problems we need you to resolve. Objectives to be completed. and information gained from the soldiers and prisoners you've extracted. These aren't missions per se, but if you can take care of them when you're free, I'd appreciate it.
Please specify a project. Please specify a project. Please specify a project. Please select a mission. Mission accept. The map has been updated.
Ansturm hat schon was.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Informations Kontrolle.
Boss, you need to disable the Soviets' reinforcement system by putting a hole in their base-to-base comms network. Head for the Eastern Communications Post and destroy its comms equipment. First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility. That wild dog pup. He's a tough little guy. Boss, this is no time to be playing with animals. What are you gonna do, boss? Roger that. We'll pick him up.
The map has been updated.
Russischen Dolmetscher rausholen.
Marker placed.
Found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare. Find this language specialist and extract him.
Denkst du, dass der hier ist?
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
О, это действительный
That's the
полет.
target.
Любые мелочи могут помочь в этой холодной...
That Soviet soldier in the green beret is speaking English. Must be a language specialist. With him on our side, we'd be capable of Russian interpretation support. Try and extract him.
Job completed. Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Unit function
Boss,
added.
that language specialist you extracted has been very cooperative. Says he's always dreamed of living a free life like folks in the West. What are the odds, huh? I've gone ahead and placed him in the support unit. His job is Russian interpretation. Now you'll know what Soviet soldiers are saying. You can even interrogate them. Should give you an edge in the mission.
Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker removed. Marker removed. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
So.
You have arrived at your destination.
You made it. First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility.
Marker removed. Extraction arrived at mother base. Sun will set shortly. You have arrived at your destination. Destination.
КП, это зона 7. У нас проблемы. Усиливаем охрану. Прием. Это КП. Понял. Смотрите в оба. Конец связи.
You have arrived at your
coming too. Roger that.
Hier hoch, ins Gebirge. Und dann hier hinten drauf.
You have arrived at your destination.